My name is Kelsea Thrower, and I'm doing this video as my observation video for Miss Vaughn's Exceptional Child class. My first observation was done at Rosebud Elementary in Miss Laura Rhodes' classroom. I attended this school on March 7th. I entered the classroom about 9:05. The students were working on the smartboard, and they did a great job working with the smartboard and working with the teacher. Then they broke up into centers and worked with math centers in 4 different centers. They had all kinds of interesting activities that I loved watching. My grow for this classroom would be, honestly, Miss Rhodes' attitude, I guess you could say. Visitors come and go in classrooms so often, and she did not seem to make me feel welcome at all. She had no interest in helping me in any way. But I found it interesting that during my hour I was there, there was probably 5 visitors that just came in and out, and had something to say. And she seemed fine with them, but for me, it was not welcoming in any way. My glow on this classroom would be her animated self. Everything she did had a song or a chant or something to go along with what was going on, and this really seemed to keep the students' attention. Kept them listening for what was next, and they all seemed to love it. My first grade observation was done at Bald Knob Elementary in Miss Candace Anselmi's classroom. Miss Anselmi was very welcoming and interested in having me in her classroom. She, when I entered, all the students were working on their bell work, and when they were done, they got their reading out. One thing that stood out to me in this classroom was their reading levels. We had students over here reading books that some 3rd graders can't read, and then we had students over here reading little bitty paper books that are sent home every week. Every student develops different, but that's something that really stuck out to me. It's never stuck out that way to me as much as it did in this classroom. Once they were done with this, they began a worksheet with their spelling words for the week, which were OA and OE words. They were instructed to read the word, circle the picture, and then color the picture and write a sentence using the words. The students were so excited to get to color their pictures when they were done, they completely forgot to write the sentence. Miss Anselmi had to tell a good half of her classroom that they had to go back and write their sentence. So that would be my grow on this classroom, is that that she needs to make sure her instructions are clear. Maybe don't put the color before all of it. Read the word, circle the word, write the sentence, and then she can color the pictures. My glow would be, I guess, her reading. All of her students did not seem to struggle at reading at all. And in a lot of 1st grade classrooms, you see many students who struggle with it, especially at the level they were reading. I was very impressed. My 2nd grade observation was done at Rosebud Elementary in Miss Jennifer Bates' classroom. This was probably my favorite classroom I visited here at my time at ASUBB. Miss Bates was super welcoming and super energetic about being a teacher. This is one of the teachers I observed that seemed to really love what she did. And you don't see that very often anymore, and it kind of hurts to watch because you don't see many teachers who clearly like to be a teacher. In this classroom, they were working, their social studies unit was on the Chinese New Year and the Great Wall of China. The day before, they had done a whole activity and had an idea web of fact sheets about this. And today, they were making a foldable, like a brochure. And she had them decorate their brochure and put all the facts about the Chinese New Year and the Great Wall of China in it. And all of the students seemed to love to be in this classroom. She was super laid back, but not to the point where the students didn't get their work done. I think it was a perfect level where the students still had fun in class, but did not, but didn't have to really think about what was going on. My grow for this classroom is really hard for me to find one. She was such a great teacher. I don't know if I could find one. Maybe just a tad bit more discipline, because the students did get a little rowdy, but none of them seemed to really bother it. My glow would be just her attitude towards her class. She loved to be there, and that's something you don't see much. My third grade observation was also done at Rosebud Elementary in Miss Rhonda Gerard's classroom. And when I entered this classroom, I walked in, and Rosebud's a small school, but there was only 9 kids in this classroom. And it took me a while to figure out why this classroom was so small. I didn't know if it was a teacher or if something was going on. Well, I later found out that storms had come through and the night before, and lots of them were in the storm shelter at 3 o'clock in the morning. So as I sat there, more students slowly came in, but still there was only about 14 by the time I left. Miss Gerard was somebody who loved being a teacher, and she had been doing it a very long time. You could tell by all the pictures on her wall and all the just her attitude around things. She was an older lady, but the students really seemed to love her. My grow on this classroom would have to be that I feel like she might have put too much responsibility on her aide. I feel like on this particular day, her aide did more teaching than she did. My glow would be the students absolutely loved her, and she cared about her students in every way possible. You don't see many teachers who can have a conversation with a kid and try to calm them down over something that's happened at home. My self-contained classroom was done at Baldnall Elementary. This was a K-5 classroom, but I would say there was probably only 1 or 2 kids in first and second grade. The rest were older children. This was my first time being in a self-contained classroom. The teacher in this classroom was Miss Sherry Giovanni. She was amazing. I was informed that I would leave this classroom wanting to teach self-contained, and I'll be honest, I did. The way she went about her day and interacted with her students and knew exactly how to talk to these students was just amazing. One thing that stood out to me is when they were doing their Days of the Week song. She was singing it, but she also used sign language to do it. And none of her students seemed to be deaf, so that kind of stuck out to me. I think it's something that she's just done so long that it's worked in, and that's what she does. But it also teaches these students, because some of them have disabilities that they could go deaf one day, and this is just the first thing at teaching. You know, maybe they'll need ALS one day. My grow for this classroom, there's not one. This teacher was absolutely amazing. Her students were amazing. She had 3 aides in there with her, and they were all amazing. This classroom was the best classroom I've ever been in. My glow was, she was just a fantastic teacher. There's no way to put it. My special education classroom was also done at Baldnall Elementary in Miss Loretta Mansfield's class. This was a resource room, so I saw lots of different ages at one time come in. Each student had an IEP in this classroom. They had to evaluate. Each student was different. In this classroom, I would say my grow would be maybe a little bit more disciplined. At one time, there was about 6 kids in this little bitty classroom, and it got very loud and very contagious, and it needed to be rang up just a little bit. I understand it's a tiny classroom with lots of kids and one teacher, but that's it. The glow would be the way she worked with her her students. She knew what she was doing. She knew how each teacher was going to respond. My Gifted and Talented was also done at Bald Knob Elementary in Miss Bonnie Goodwin's classroom. I learned in this classroom that I do not want to teach Gifted and Talented. It is too individualized. There was a big sign in this classroom when you walked in. It said, "In GT, we focus on critical thinking and individualism." Which I understand that. That's what they do. But I don't want to be the one to teach it. That's put all the work on the student. And she was there to help if you needed her, but she had to lay off because that's what she was supposed to do. So that would be my grow is you're doing your job, but there's still a level that you need to help your students. My glow is the fact that her students were able to work by themselves and get their work done. They were doing a very interesting biography project. Then finally, my inclusive site was done at Jacksonville Pathfinders. I got to observe the older students. This was what they called an adult transition classroom. There's only 3 students, but these students were probably anywhere from 15 to 17 years old. They were learning basic life skills, how to count money, how to put the 2 monies together and give the person what they deserve. Like they use groceries. This one student, he would get, the teacher would tell him 2 things, and she would say how much they were, and he had to give them how much money he needed to buy these 2 items. And the other student, she would have the money, and he would have to give her the items that he could buy with that amount of money. My grow on this classroom is kind of hard with an inclusive site because everybody does so many different things. But my grow would probably be the easiness to call and get in touch with these people. I understand they have a very difficult job, but I wasted almost a month trying to get in touch with these people. And my glow it's Jacksonville Pathfinders. They are an amazing program who work with these children every day. And that's all I have. Thank you.